Welcome to the Black and White Table Talk, real talk behind the whistle. Today I have Yvette Perry, special guest. Give me a virtual high five. What's up? Good to see you.
You
Haven't seen you
too.
in a long time.
Right.
Um, the veteran women's college basketball official. You train, you mentor, you teach, you travel with newer officials, help them grow and stay in the game. You've built a mentorship tree that is changing lives, I believe.
Mhm.
I'd like to say that you are you officiated in all different kinds of basketball cultures. You're here in Georgia now. We're happy to have you back. You've been to Los Angeles, which I think is home for you. Um,
Yes.
and this conversation is about standards, respect, retention, and what it takes to really develop officials, especially
Mhm.
when the job gets heavy. So, welcome,
Mhm.
Yvette.
Thank
And would
you.
you give me a brief? I call it a resume. Would you give me a resume for me and tell me the sports you officiate, how long you've been doing it?
Well, I am only a basketball lover, so I tried volleyball 1 year when I had a hip replacement, and I'm ADHD. I can't do it. Volleyball. It's not busy. It's not dramatic enough for me. Uh, maybe eventually I'll get into it at some point, but
It's gonna
um,
come. It's gonna come.
I know I've been recruited for flag football, recruited for swimming. I would probably do the swimming first. I love water. Um,
Me too.
But yeah, basketball is all I do. I'm coming into my 27th season, because I started in '99. So, it's about to turn over to 27 now.
Beautiful.
Um, it goes by fast, but, I've accomplished a lot. I've had fun doing it. Levels, I always say I referee anybody to move, but I haven't done wheelchairs. Only one thing I haven't done yet.
Yeah,
Is wheelchair basketball.
that's
But
great too.
I do the kids, I do Special Olympics, I do the Senior Olympics. I have that coming up this summer. Um, mainly majority of time was high school. Um, but I do women's D3 now. I have gone into Division two. I was there when I was here before in Georgia for almost 8 years. Um, never developed into Division one. I didn't have the lifestyle to accommodate D1. So I just did where I can still have a job or take care of my mom at the time.
Yeah,
Um, Now I've gotten into 1v1s and 3-on-3s. So, that's my street ball circuit right now,
nice.
and, so that's been fun, very competitive, keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful. Lots of basketball and lots of different forms. So that's a
Mhm.
great thing. Hey, how did you get into officiating? What pulled you?
Um, Shoot, what put me in? My uncle in LA, shout out to Charles Perry. He is our patriarch who's in officiating for almost 40 years. He ran several leagues in LA. And so at one of his leagues, I was the score table. I did the book and the clock. But one
Yeah,
night an official didn't show up. And he threw me a shirt and a whistle and said, "Come on, Nisi, I need you to help me out tonight." I was like, "No, because they're gonna yell at me and they're gonna curse at me." He said, "You're not gonna let that happen because you're gonna curse at them back." I was like, "Oh, you're right." So I did okay. And even the players were like, "Hey, she need to be doing this and tell your sons to get off the floor and let them do the table." Because he has
okay.
5 boys who he made them referee for money. So I
Did you curse anybody that day or no?
did not have to curse anybody that day. I didn't start cursing people out until I did the LAPD league.
Oh wow.
The LAPD league is the most competitive league in LA, even next to the Drew. I mean, it's competitive, and they are, you know, entitled because they're police officers, and they
Wow.
will talk to you crazy. And I do not tolerate. I
Yeah.
tell coaches to this day, I don't do profanity. I don't do volume. So if you want to know anything, I'm the best communicator ever. So you can talk to me, and I'll give you, a respectful answer back. But you will not disrespect me. And I've worked that league almost 12 years, so,
Wow. So how do you handle um, fans and parents and stuff that get crazy on you?
well, we all know, well, that we're not supposed to interact with fans or even have conversations back and forth. I personally think it's funny, and I think it's an opportunity to recruit.
Mm,
I've always looked at it that way. If I hear dad, hey, that was a over the back, that's the most misunderstood rule in basketball. And I'll go and I'll wait till a dead ball or a timeout and I look over. I was like, Dad, what's over the back? What is that? And they go, oh, well, he jumped over him. And you show me that in the rule book, I'll give you my check. And they know then, oh, that's not a call? No, it's not a call. So I just I playfully explain right things to people. I never knock on wood. I don't get the curse out parents. I get the I don't understand parents. I'm
Yeah,
yelling, I'm mad because I just don't understand. And I have
yeah,
to give them the psychology. It's like, why would you get mad at something that you never learned or never knew anything about? Why don't you just ask the question? And then they go, oh, okay, that makes sense. Next thing I know, I said, well, I'm having a class in 2 months. If you want to come sign up, I'll help you with that. And I've recruited several officials that way.
wow. I think one of the things that I've heard in certain states is if you get thrown out of a game as a parent, you have to basically officiate that sport,
Oh,
right?
nice.
So it's
Nice.
part of your entry fee back in. And I think it should be one of the solutions, part of one of the solutions that we kind of start to implement is
Mhm.
having parents either try to referee part of the game, a
Mhm.
scrimmage, maybe a practice, or they take a class on it, right?
Take it fine.
I
Yeah.
mean, we should have something that we develop, and maybe that's something that you and I can start to do is
Yeah.
develop some classes, some modules, just like state high school associations have to do. Parents and coaches should, I think, have to get
Mhm.
some type of certification about how to behave and what they
Right.
need. You know what I'm saying? This over
Right.
the back, 3 seconds. I mean, we hear it all. Their hands, get their hands off of 'em. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really in high school and in these
Yeah.
exposure events, we're not going to call fouls if players can play through that, right?
But I got something better for you. How come we're not yelling at the players to stop fouling? Why is it
Well,
the referee's fault for how they're playing?
yeah,
My motto has always been how your players play determine how the game gets called. We don't walk in the gym with a pocket full of
brilliant,
hand checks and pushes in the back and block charges. We don't know what
brilliant,
they're going to give us until we get there.
brilliant, brilliant.
So
It's
why
brilliant,
why is it our fault? And one day I said, Dad, I've heard you the whole game about hands, but your child when he plays defense hasn't made the adjustment either.
right?
So who are they listening to?
Right.
You
They-
know, but
and really, our whistle is supposed to teach them what is okay and what's not okay, right?
but why are we teaching them? They should already be taught when they get to us.
Well, that's true. But
You
I
know,
mean, to some extent, our whistle is saying this is what's acceptable and this is what isn't, right?
I hundred
They
percent
they
agree with you. By the
shouldn't.
way, let me
They
say that.
should be. Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you right away because that's why I like refereeing. I get to talk and teach, but I don't want the public to put the responsibility of us refereeing and coaching at the same time. You letting your coaches off the hook. You guys pay these $100 a month fees for travel ball, for travel, for skills development, but your child is still coming into the game getting it wrong, and then we're the bad guy when we got to give them 2 to 4 fouls and they're on the bench. Why is it
Dang,
our fault? Where's
that's
the accountability somewhere in here? I'm talking junk, but I'm still gonna teach your kid the right way to do it because my number one pet peeve is watching a player get the same foul twice. That means he just don't know. He or she don't know what they're doing wrong. And you'll see me hey, white ten, come here a second. The reason why you got that foul is such and such. Now you wave me off and give me attitude, it's on you at that point. But at least the public saw me try to tell them.
yeah. So, have you seen a change in? First of all, let me. That's brilliant. I love it. Something that I believe I can integrate into my game,
Mm.
right? The second part I have to that is, um, do you feel kids' behavior has changed over time when you first started officiating 25 years ago?
Yes, kids are trying to learn basketball via Instagram and TikTok now. No one still. I've asked kids all the time, "Have you ever opened a rule book?" Do you even know what the rules of basketball are? No, no, I watched Instagram and I watched the internet, and I said, that's why you're getting it wrong. We do have books that are, $10 that you can read and learn some rules. Now, if you go to YouTube and learn some basketball, I'm good because
Yeah.
YouTube has abundance of resources now compared to when we started 25 years ago. So
Yeah.
I'll tell a parent, you want to know what the travel look like? Go Google this guy at betterofficial.com and go learn the rules and videos and all the teaching modules he has. And they're going, really? I said, and it's free. And it's free. It's not going to cost you nothing but time. And I've sent several people to betterofficials.com just
Yeah.
to go learn the basics. But
Yeah.
yes, these schools are not taking the time to learn the game. But you were talking about a business opportunity. I want to sell rule books at the door of a travel ball tournament.
Mm.
I think it should come with their fees of coming in the door.
You think people would buy it?
And if they're already paying $25, $50 to get in the door, I think we should give them a rule book. I think it should come with it. I mean, if you buy it in bundles in what do you call it, bulk, they're $3 to $5 a book. But what are these tournament directors doing with $50 per person coming to the door? But you'll cut down the lack of knowledge. You'll cut down how these kids are being taught if you just give them an incentive. Here's a rule book.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, right? I feel like basketball doesn't do a very good job of disseminating that knowledge, right? I feel like we kind of want to hoard it and, not share it with
Not
people. And
sure.
you might take my game if I help you. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that whole officials culture needs to be a little bit more supportive and a little bit more, helpful with each
Mm,
other. I wish we did
uh,
that as officials more.
yes,
Um,
oh my gosh, I just had this conversation. It is 100% correct, and it's different regionally because I still believe Atlanta was a lot more open and shareable than my experience in California.
mm,
Is what we call our words are cliquish. You got to have your clique or your circle of people. Shouldn't have to be like that.
yeah,
It should be everyone should have as officials. We're our own fraternity sorority. We should
right,
all embrace each other, but we don't.
yeah,
And I'm not worried about you taking my games because it's up to my assigner. My
right,
assigner has to know my value. That's what my shirt says. Know your value. You know, you gotta know your value and you know build on that. Build on your value.
Well, the other part for me is that, you know, um, and at least I draw the equivalency with, the other sports I've done, right?
Mhm,
Volleyball, a little bit of softball, a little bit of, flag football and
mhm.
football. But, Vet, like the thing that's weird is like these officials in volleyball, we have no fear about someone taking our matches. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? Like
right.
it's all about reps and how many reps I see and how I understand the rules and how I learn and grow as an official that
Mm.
makes me valuable, right?
Why is that? Why do you think that is in volleyball versus basketball?
I don't know. I mean, I really have. I've
Do you have
I've
abundance of
tried.
games? You have more
Um,
games? Do you
do
have
what?
guys have a lot more games?
Really? I mean,
Mm,
it's just there's just this fear, this hoarding culture that I've sensed in basketball 20 years ago, and it's amazing, right? I mean, like I talked to one of the top officials internationally and in the US about it. And I said, when we have different certification levels that we can, achieve in volleyball. And maybe
mhm.
we need something like that in basketball, right? Like an
And
emeritus, a mentor status, an elite status, so that you get paid more per game because,
yes,
you've got more experience than a
yeah,
lesser official. But what happened was going through that process. Part of it, once you get to a certain level, it's like the mantra is share whatever you know. It is your responsibility. The one thing that you have to do is give this information to somebody else.
absolutely. Yeah, got to get back. Got to pass it on.
And I don't know why it's not like that. why it's not boiling over like that in basketball, because we got so many talented officials. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
absolutely.
And you know, the top level people shouldn't be worried about losing their games to somebody that's up and coming. It's a natural progression. For me, I'm
Yeah,
ready to step back, right? I
right.
mean, I'm to give those games up to somebody. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So
The last
I
4
think
years, I gave back varsity games to work low level games with my newbies that I'm training.
so. That's I really I think that's what the culture is for me in officiating. I think there's many microcosms of this that, you know, hopefully this table talk begins to kind of, you know, look at. And one
Mhm.
is that basketball officiating culture, right? The other part is the tournament director culture and
Yeah,
how those things are run. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And then it's the parent culture, right? And what we allow and tolerate, you know, these parents to do and say to us that
Mhm,
is really, I think, crippling officials' desires
mhm.
to to be a part of, you know, the cadre.
I
Does
w
it? Mm.
It's funny you just said that. I was just on a post this morning about the culture of tournament directors, about the culture of the parents, and how referees are leaving officiating because of those two, because we're not being paid appropriately. You know, why is it we're still making 25 a game in 2026, and I was making that in 2004?
It's
I
unbelievable.
mean, what kind of HR system is this? Ain't no progression.
I don't know. So listen, I was doing some research, right? And I saw that in most states, right? There's the middle school rate is $40 to $45 a game for a
Wow,
middle school game,
wow,
right? So the average rate for a high school game, a sub-varsity game, is somewhere around 55, $60 for a JV game. So middle school is going to be a 6-minute quarter, right? A sub-varsity game is going to be a 7-minute quarter. So those are
mhm,
$55 to $60. Really,
mhm,
55 is the low end,
mhm,
$60 for a sub-varsity game,
right.
and 75 to $80 all the way to $100
Oh, yeah,
for a
100.
varsity level game, right?
Yeah.
Some states, New Mexico and some other states are really pushing the envelope
Mhm.
for varsity level pay. But
Right.
the point that I want to make is, why aren't we able to get a middle school pay rate for a 18-minute varsity level game? We're
Yeah.
doing 18-minute halves, right?
Right.
Stop
Right.
clock for large kids, collegiate bound kids,
Mhm.
and we're still getting $25, $30 a game.
Still want it. Yeah.
We
Still
can't
want
get
it.
a middle school rate.
I mean, they just think that, and they're making much more money than a middle school makes on basketball.
Oh my
Somebody
God.
mentioned today they make $90,000 a weekend,
Oh,
and you can't
no,
pay the referees.
it's more than that. It's more than that.
Like, yeah, I just
Believe
heard the
me,
90, and I'm like, what? That's
it's, I know some people that, some directors, and I want to try to get them on the show, but they're making, you know, couple $100,000
see,
a
this is
weekend.
crazy. That's
and
just
and and don't want to
yeah.
pay $30 because bet listen, here's what they say, right? They say they get the same number of complaints if they pay $20 a referee or $40 a referee.
Guess what? Change your personnel.
Mm,
That's your problem. And I'm sorry, I'm not the one to do it, but let's say someone with my resume, what is my incentive to come do a game for 20 25 a game and then
mm.
work with someone that's a first year and they getting the same rate?
Right.
Now they
So
should get 20 25 a game for training.
right.
I should be getting
So
it at 40 45 for being on the court with them to make sure the game is okay.
no doubt about it. But I think to me, systemically, there's something wrong with
Yes.
the whole setup of these the games. We
Mhm.
can't finish an 18-minute stop clock half game in an hour.
No,
We can't. Not with collegiate bound kids, right?
no.
They're trying to get 14 games in a day, right?
Mhm.
Want us to call every foul that
Every
happens,
foul.
free throws at 5, 7, 10, whatever it is.
Mhm.
And we just can't do it,
No,
right?
the
With
same
two
process.
people, with two people.
And because your players are not changing, they're not gonna stop hand checking, they're not gonna stop reaching, they're not gonna stop just silly fouls because of maturity level and skill level.
Yeah.
Remember,
So,
how the players play determine how we call a game.
I mean, we definitely have to um, officiate whatever they give us, right?
Mhm.
I mean, and as you know, some games are gonna take. We can't finish a. We can barely finish a middle school game in an hour, right?
Right.
With a
Yeah.
6 minute stop clock, intermission. There's no way, right? We're
Right.
gonna be able to finish a D1. You got basically D1 prospects on the court.
Mhm.
Sometimes 8 to 10 of them, right?
Right.
And we're trying to finish that game in an hour with two people
Right.
that have probably worked 7 games, 6 games, right? It's
Mhm.
just no way.
There's
There's
a
just
no-win situation. None.
we've got to get some of those things solved, right? And
Yeah.
and what I believe is we've got to get some of those elite high school level officials, collegiate officials to come back and do
Mhm.
these games and help
Mhm.
mentor and teach and
Yeah.
and pour back into the sport, right?
Right.
There's nothing that we're doing to incentivize them, you know what I mean, to work these events. They're too chaotic, they're fights, they're unorganized. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. And it's
So
near
so
tables.
right. So the system, the systemic problems are just too much to get those referees, right?
Right.
I think if we clean that up, we could get some of them back
Absolutely.
and work a 3 game set, 4 game set.
Mhm.
And that way you don't have officials that are working 10, 12 games in a day, right?
Right.
I mean, it's a guy giving out 12 games. I need you to go to Swanee or Lake Point or all tournaments or, such and such school and just sit there for 12 or 15, 12 games, 14 games.
That's the meaning. Way too many.
How can we be effective doing that many games?
Now I got lucky this weekend. First of all, I'll come back to professionalism of officials in a minute. But I had an official who gave back a set at game time. 6 games. I don't want this set. This is trash. I don't like this schedule. So luckily, one of my officials, who happens to be in shape, who's been experienced, is a college official, he ended up picking up a few of his games, but he already had 6 or 7 of his own. But he picked up some just to cover me, just to cover my tournament. I dreaded it because I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna be so tired. So I made sure I got somebody to give him a break at the 6 minute mark. But this guy's in shape. He works out 6 days a week. He hustles. I got lucky because I had someone that was in shape to do them. But I didn't want to see him on the court like that. But I was so upset at the official that dropped the games. I'm like, you act like I got refs sitting on the side. I handpicked everybody here who I wanted to work certain things.
Listen, let me tell you, something like that it is a rarity that it happens in volleyball. Like, I mean, during the regular season, we get fined if we turn
Mm,
back a game late, if we're late to a game.
mm,
You get 2 chances if you're past the match start time twice.
mm,
You're on probation. You have the possibility of losing your entire
mm.
schedule.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
In the rec tournament volleyball world, you get an asterisk put by your name if you
Mm,
pull out of an event
yeah,
early. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I mean, or
right.
late, should I say, right?
Mhm.
Before the day before, right? But
Wow.
it's not, we don't see that very often.
No, I
And I don't
don't.
know why basketball is like that. Double
Basketball
booking.
is
What's
it's and they don't realize that we can't start the game until you get here. but you make it inconvenient for the next person. Well, why are we leaving before your crew comes in here? You don't even care about the structure. And I had to put it like, I had to tell them, you do understand that the more we're late, the more we're leaving early, we're leaving the tournament inconvenienced. I can't negotiate $1 for you. You're stuck where you are and you did it to yourself.
Let me ask you this, and this is a fairly nuanced question. It's not really one that um, I'm sure you may be ready to answer, but when we say we want a higher rate of pay, right? Like,
Mhm.
let's say we want $50 or such and such dollars, which is really what I think we should be getting
It should
for
be
some
okay.
things,
It's a
right?
market rate. It's not an
Uh,
imaginary rate. It's market.
I mean, what when a director or somebody that's running the league says, "Well, we're getting the same refs and they're doing the same job. Why can I shouldn't I?" And somebody will come in and do it for 25 or $20.
So that keyword you just said was someone. Someone is equal to anybody. Now, I tell tournament directors, if you get someone or anybody, your insurance is not going to cover injuries or risk. That's number one. But if you get officials who are certified and trained, you're guaranteed to get a different quality because they know the risk that comes with calling fouls or not calling fouls. Now, if I get two lazy bums, that's me. I should know better as an assigner. If I get people that don't blow the whistle and let kids get hurt, that's my fault. I should know better. But these kids, any one of somebody that you just picked up, they have no clue what's required of them. They
Yeah,
just know I'm going to go make this $30 an hour or
yeah.
this $25 an hour. That's all they stopped right there. How much an hour? 25? Oh yeah, I'll be there. How many times have you seen anybody or someone show up with a football shirt at a basketball game? Or they come in with some black and white shoes or black and red shoes or black and white striped shorts on. Or the shirt's too big because they borrowed it from their uncle because they
Yeah.
never opened a book or a manual to know the professionalism of a uniform for this job. I always
Yeah.
tell people, I said, I'm sorry, not to mention the twists and the dreads and the beard unshaven and unkept. You think a police officer can show up in the police academy like that and still have a job?
Well,
Because
I
they have
mean,
your uniform requirement. We do
well,
too.
most people have some type of appearance guidelines, you know what I'm saying, for their jobs,
For
right?
your
I mean,
jobs.
this isn't any different from, any other avocation or
Right.
vocation. It's just where we get we're out on the stage, right? So we get to be, I guess, talked to and everything else critiqued moment by moment. So,
Mhm.
and it's just an interesting thing, right? And I mean, some of it, I think, for me, is about that parent culture that really needs to shift. I think that hopefully what part of this is about is recognizing all of us are accountable. All of the participants are accountable.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
we all can make subtle changes. We all can make changes to make this better. You know,
Mhm.
I think that the question was that I asked you was, has the behavior changed, right? And
It's definitely changed.
as you think it's gotten better, gotten worse, or stayed the same when the
Behavior
change?
from the kids have gotten worse. The parents have been actually consistent, but they're getting worse now because they're banking on these kids making it because we're paying NIL money just for them to go to college. Now it's not about that college fund that they've been saving up all these years. They're going to get that and some when they go to college. So these parents are pushing for these children, and I got that. You push and you cheer on your kid. I've told a parent before, do you always walk into someone's job and start yelling at them about something you think should be different? I mean, any job. It could be Starbucks, it could be the post office. Why do you think people relate angry to postal? You walk into a post office yelling at a postal worker, you're bound to get shot because they've had enough stress on their day. They don't need you coming in there yelling at them. I said, but think about officials. You think you can say the Holiday Inn last night and do this today? I guarantee you cannot. And please let me shadow you, but I will wear you out. And you know what shadowing how we got trained.
Right.
I
I
will
mean,
wear you out where you will give back your shirt and whistle after the third play.
right. I mean, it's interesting. I asked a parent, would they do it? And they said, "Oh, I can do it and I can do it much better than you can. I don't know what you." I mean, it just
Come
was,
on. Come
they,
on.
were-
I encourage it. Please
they,
come on.
they were relentless. And I mean, I almost wanted to bring a whistle in my bag, to see if somebody could do it. You
I
know what I mean?
keep brand new whistles just for that reason.
Do you?
I had a guy the other day, 2 weeks ago. The ball went out and he's pointing at the line with a knee. It's out. I said, you know what, sir? I need a sub today. You want to come on and take this job? Oh no, 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 I can't do y'all job. You cannot? Why not? I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be yelled at.
Mm.
Oh, so you know what the deal is. So why are you doing it?
Right.
And then I ran by about 4 or 5 times and his son's scoring. I said, you know you paid to come in here to cheer on little Johnny, right? Now he don't even know you're here because you came for him. You didn't come for us. I know
it's
my name
amazing.
is not on the marquee when you paid that money in the front.
We're glad you're paying it, right? But
Yeah.
you know, we shouldn't be part of what your responsibility is, right? So there's so many layers to unpack behind this. There's so many different things.
But
I
it's just,
really,
you brought up something about the workshops and module stuff. In LA, after the 1984 Olympics, they had a grant, excuse me, that sponsored those kind of workshops at all the local LA City Parks and Rec facilities. I was on that rotation. That was one of my first jobs out of high school. I would go around to these parks and do these workshops for parents right before their youth league. So the dad was going to say, "I'm going to coach my son's team." So I would show them even how to run a practice, how to utilize your 1 hour a week you're going to get to practice for Saturday.
mm,
I made them come dressed to play as players, and I would referee, and I would call certain things, and they're just confused. I said, "You know why you're confused? Because you missed the whole point of opening the rule book. How are you going to teach these kids if you don't even know the rules?"
right.
And so that was something we do a 2 hour workshop on Saturday mornings. And I would go around all these parks, and we went away from that. When I moved home last in 2012, I was looking to get back into that. They did not have that available anymore. So I kind of have a business like that now, part of my business. That I go to high school practices, I go to travel ball practices. Coach, what are you having problems with that you need to go over with your kids? Let me have this practice. And the coaches will ask most of the questions. Oh, what's the rule on this? What's the rule on that? I said, I have a rule book in my bag for you, coach. That's where these questions should not come up. You should know how to
Yeah.
operate a game. You should know the basic fundamentals.
It's
Shouldn't come up.
amazing, right? I mean, I'm sure there's a huge business opportunity there, right? And officials consulting business, you
Mhm.
know, uh, and to me, it's brilliant, right? And I think we've got to start vetting the coaches too, right? I mean, like we've
Mhm.
talked about this on the show. Um, we can't just let anybody say they're a coach, right? I mean,
Mhm.
we're not getting safe sport verified,
There you go.
certified, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you don't know, you know, um, if these coaches have some kind of criminal record past,
Right.
anything that's happening with
And
them.
that's come up. Mhm.
So, I mean,
That
we've
has
got to
come
do
in.
a better job of, you know, doing all this shit because these parents are paying money and they're paying money. They don't even know who the coach is, right? I mean, they have no knowledge if that coach uh, has any basketball experience,
Right.
any, any working with kids experience, right? I mean, they have no clue uh, what that coach has done before and they're with our most valuable commodity. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And don't it's just amazing to me. It's
Exactly.
just one of those things, right? That I think there's got to be some more structure. These systemic failures they're really starting to expose a lot of the issues that are happening. And if we don't
Mhm.
work now to change some of them, we're gonna lose tons of officials.
Oh
You know,
yeah. We do
we
we still lose a lot. I bring in since I've been back to Georgia, I brought in 21 to 27 new officials at Peach State, and I lose about 3 to 5 at least,
every
especially
year.
every year because number one, they didn't take it as seriously as everybody else. They didn't take advantage of the time and resources that myself and my staff have offered to them. So people think it's quick money, it's easy money. You have to learn this job like any other job, and this job can the fact that it progresses into so much more money. Yeah, we're talking about $25, $30 now, but how many 18-year-olds started doing this at 25, 30? By 25, they're in the NBA making six figures. It
Right,
can happen just that fast.
right,
So you have to dedicate yourself to it and get good at it real fast. So I always
right,
tell my newbies, the better you are, the more money you make.
right.
You,
And
mm,
even a D1 collegiate official makes
Comma
great money.
checks.
I
Comma checks,
mean,
we call it. Yeah.
it's just if and I think we've got to do something to retain, to recruit. What are some of the things that you're doing to do that?
Well, first of all, so I am the National Association of Sports Officials. I am their local rep in Atlanta. When someone contacts them to say they're moving to Atlanta and they want to get into officiating in basketball, I'm the contact person. So
Wow,
that's a good one. That's a good what do you call it? Stream of people that come to me. Then
awesome.
if they're not in my area, like I've sent in several to your area, to Multi County, Atlanta area, Greater Georgia, I send them all out. And then the second part, and I also go to the local colleges and use their intramurals kits. I just found out recently that intramurals in most colleges pay $14 to $16 a game,
Hmm,
and they're getting NFHS trained. So guess what? You've already done half the work to come do a high school game in November.
wow,
So I have several kids that from Georgia Tech, Georgia State, and I just kind of watch them work and fill in the blanks with things that they haven't learned already. But they just went from $16 a game to 75, $85 a game. And I said, don't kill your relationship with your school. Still do that Tuesday night and Thursday night leagues like you do. But and you can pick your schedule with GHSA. So they're learning like, wow, I didn't know this was even here. But I
yeah.
did that in LA too. I had USC, I had Loyola Marymount, I had UCLA. I used those kids for high school.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I think, one of the things that I'm sure you do too is, if you're at those practices, some of those kids, may be open to doing it, right? I
Oh yeah,
mean,
I got two
I,
now. Mhm.
I think we can, certainly get some of those 18, 17, 18 going to college kids that,
Mhm.
I mean, it is great money
That's
per
great, man.
hour. You know
That's
what I
how I
mean? You
started. I
just
mean,
do it for just a few hours every day. I mean, every
mhm.
other day, two, 3 times a day,
Two
right?
days a week. Yeah.
You're going to make more money than any college kid that you're going to school with doing this,
Right.
right?
And it pays more than retail or fast food. And
Keeps
don't
you
have to
closer
and
to
don't
the sport you love,
mhm,
I mean, it gives you a better understanding of the game from a
mhm.
different perspective, right? So I think that's a hey, I think we've got some business opportunities we need to talk about together.
Right. And not
We're
to mention scorekeeping.
oh my gosh.
Scorekeeping and when I'm in LA is $20 a game. Here, I was in New Orleans this weekend, they were getting 16. I haven't checked here. I think I heard 13, but that's still $13 an hour to watch basketball. And just keep score. And, LA Fitness hires referees and scorekeepers. Georgia Tech does. I mean, you can go on Indeed and look up scorekeeper and find a scorekeeping gig. So it's like, it's easy money and it keeps you, like you said, around the sport. You know.
Yeah. Hey, so what do you think is one of the most important things that we can do to retain officials as an official, as a cadre?
So
What did you hear from some
I
of
have an
your
HR background. Still, and I think a lot of skill sets and trainings that we do in our regular corporate world, a bit of workforce, can be implemented into officiating. Which, if you hire someone new and you train them and you send them out in the world to do the job, are you going to forget about them? No, you're going to keep checking in. You're going to mentor. You're going to evaluate. You're going
Yeah.
to give them feedback on how to improve and show promotional opportunities. Yes, I start out at middle school or start out at far soft JV games, but don't leave me there for 10 years. You
Right.
know, you got to, every year or two, I got to see opportunity to move up to a lower level varsity game, a private school varsity game, something where that's the job of a signer that they should be able to recognize the development of an official. So
Yeah.
professional development has to be put into officiating. The good
Yeah.
old boy network, putting your friends on, people you like, you're gonna lose your officials. You're gonna lose them. You're not paying attention to them anymore. And we got some really good officials here in Atlanta.
Yeah. Oh man, it's one of the meccas, I would say,
Mhm.
for basketball, right? I
Mhm.
mean, um, you know, what's some of the differences you would say from Atlanta to LA that you've experienced? I mean, how was pay different? Was the culture different? I mean, you mentioned that it was a little bit different in
Mhm.
terms of the officiating culture, but it
So
pops.
the obvious, I'm not being racial, but the obvious is we know that Atlanta is 90% black, and California is the opposite. Blacks are the minority. So most of your high schools in LA City are Latino schools. And then you have your Asian schools. Then you have your Jewish schools. Then you have some city schools that are kind of still there that are African American schools, but most of the city schools are getting a scholarship to the private schools in other areas. So it's not even city. LA City ball used to be the best basketball in the country, and it has phased out. So
Wow.
now and we still only do. LA still does 2-person on high school games, and Atlanta
Say it
is
again.
3-person. Yes,
Say that
two
again. Hold
person
on a
on
minute.
varsity
I
game.
thought I heard you. What?
You heard me. You
Oh,
heard me. And that was a big battle while I was there. I was trying to encourage and trying to get people trained because that was the reason they said we don't have enough trained individuals to do it. So that was a market I found, and I started doing those in camps. So you
wow.
can't keep using college officials to come back to high school to do your
Wow.
playoffs when
That's
you have high school officials right here waiting in line for the
wow.
opportunity. That just can't happen, you know.
That's
Again, we talk about professional development. That's lacking in that realm, you know. Then you have the culture. Um, we just talked about that this weekend at Violet's Basics Camp. California's junior college heavy. It's 5 conferences of junior colleges.
wow.
Here, I'm sorry, let me stay there. And you have more officials than games. So it's very competitive. But
For sure.
here we got a bunch of colleges of every level. Well, JUCO is the minority here because they
Yeah.
state ran, Georgia JUCO,
Yeah.
Tennessee JUCO, Alabama JUCO. But we have D3s everywhere. We have the D2s, we have D1s. We can 4 hours we could be in Florida. We could be 2 hours in Tennessee, 2 hours in South Carolina and Charlotte. We can go anywhere within 2 to 4 hours and still work a quality college game.
Yeah.
So that's the differences, and a lot of people from the West Coast are starting to come out here to work
Yeah.
college ball because the
Yeah.
opportunities are better here. So
Hey,
I can see that.
quick question. Do you feel like because you're not having that three-person crew in high school, do you see some disadvantages for officials learning that three-man mechanics in college?
100%. 100%. Only way you learn free person in California is one, you find a mentor and you follow them around and you jump on red games with them. You schedule time to get trained by them. High school units will give you the book stuff of 3-person, but they won't give you opportunities to to train you on it and then get you in the game to do it.
Yeah.
Here, you start out on 3-person
Right.
because all our high school games are 3-person. You
Right.
know, even if you're gonna get a schedule of non-varsity games, if we do double headers on everything here. So if I'm here for a far soft JV game, and one ref can't show up for a 3-person varsity game, you think they're gonna drive somebody else in, or they're gonna tell you, "Come on, jump on this game,"
Yeah.
and you need to be ready.
Yeah.
And then that could be the star is born. Now that you get out there and you do real well, you're there. You're moving
Right.
on up, you know?
Right. So how are the crowds, and I mean, are the leagues organized, the rec ball? I mean, is the is it different in LA than it is here?
It's different. LA, we have a lot of empty gyms. 'Cause fans don't come out the way they used to, parents don't come out like they used to. Um, and they don't charge at the doors in LA for too many games. Now you're doing the big games, the Sierra Canyons where Bronny played. You have a lot of celebrity kids that play high school ball. So those games are standing room only.
Yeah.
Gilbert Arenas sons there. Um, um, Trevor Ariza has 2 sons that are really good that's there. You just have Modern Day is a big football private school, but they're both their girls and their boys basketball teams do really well.
Yeah.
So you just have a lot of Manu Bowles' son played there. So
Yeah.
yeah, Dennis Rodman's son, daughter played there. So you have a lot of celebrities have kids that, people want to go see them play and how they do, and those games are 3-person,
Oh, so
because they
they
got to
have
match the energy.
oh, okay. They
Gotta
they
match the
have an
energy.
official there, huh?
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
you have certain leagues that have 3-person, but the here is GHSA, there is CIF, or CBOA. CBOA just they don't provide 3 officials on every game.
Yeah. So what's universal? What would you say is the same out there and the same here, some of the same things that you see?
Well, one thing I can say is common is cosmetics. You still have to be in shape to do this. You still have to look the part, because you want to be able to go anywhere and ref anything, and no one stop you because of where you're from or where
Yeah.
you've been. You still have to look the part, the referee.
Yeah.
I could say this about women. It's more. I'm gonna be more specific. Well, black women. We have Afrocentric or natural hairdos. You probably couldn't do too much in LA with that, but here and down southeast, real acceptable. You
Mm.
look like the players. And these is if it's neat, professional, nothing, orange hair, purple hair, stuff like that. But um, it's a little bit more accepted than it is there.
Mm.
A little bit more curvier women here than it are in California. I call it Baywatch in California.
Mm.
But everyone there is nice and fit and beautiful. And here you're nice, you're curvy and beautiful. But if you
Yeah.
move in, get up the floor, and you can referee, they're not gonna hold that against you here
Mm.
in the
Interesting.
Southeast. I think that's different. The men, you still got to be no facial hair, clean cut like yourself. You got to keep that stuff the same. That's the same wherever you go. Oh.
So how has it been being a woman of color? I guess there and here. You know what I mean? Did you find
Mhm.
you were bumping up into things
I did.
in a particular region more than the other?
Well, I can tell you in California, they're not so open to having women working boys' games. They'll tell you in a minute, we don't use women on boys' varsity, no matter how capable you are.
Ah,
True story. My first year there, Division 2 official, work program, all these higher levels. I go there, that's about boys' games. They say, "Oh, we don't put women on boys' games." So they have a high school boys' camp at this high school. I sign up for the camp. I'm the only female in this camp, and 27 officials. And I'm like, "You guys are really serious about this? We can't put me out. I paid my $100. I'm in camp. I do really well for the weekend, but I got chastised on every little thing. And if it wasn't for the head coach of that tournament,
mm,
he said, I want her on my championship game.
okay.
And that's how I got on the championship game.
Dang,
So I'm
man,
like,
that's
that's
pretty.
an open book for discrimination case. But I didn't let it stop me. I still just kept bugging the assignment. I was like, I am capable. Not that I want to, I'm capable of working these games.
No, more than capable.
Right. So we had a big tournament at a local school. and one official couldn't get there on time because he's stuck at work. He calls me and say, "Hey, are you available at 3:30 to cover me at this school?" I said, "Isn't that the such and such tournament?" I said, "They're not putting me on that one." He said, "Watch your arbiter in the next 10 minutes. They're gonna put you on it." And he did not lie. They put me on it. I had to grab my stuff, run out the door. I'm in this tournament, and all these male officials there to see how I do. I had to worry about the scrutiny side of it. And did great. Ended up being a 40-point blowout game, two-person, by the way, with up and down basketball. And I'm like, why are you just so discriminatory towards women doing these games? Oh, that's just our culture. That's just how it's always been. And we can count on one hand how many women have come out of LA because they had Violet Palmer. She's the one that broke that barrier. She did nothing with boys, and she had the support on it. And you see where she turned out. But it's up to your assigner to have the bravery to go ahead and say, forget what y'all say. She can work. You know,
Yeah.
and that's what that assigner did that day. He caught hell about it, but he was
Yeah.
like, I'm catching hell because of what? She took care of the game, no issues. I knew both coaches because I played in LA, and they were like, "Oh, where you come from?" So I had no issues from the coaches. At gym tournament, what's the problem?
Yeah, I don't know. That's backwards to me.
Very
Um,
backwards. And
I think that's
here, everybody learned the exact same way
and it's just
on the same
yeah,
game.
yeah. I
Mm.
mean, and I'm trying to get Violet Palmer on the show. Really,
Oh,
I
well, let
mean,
me know. She got a
yeah,
nice podcast out now too.
yeah. No, she's
Mhm.
busy. Just like you're busy. I know. I want to kind of wrap things up here, but I know I'm going to have you on, and I know we really, I think we've got the inception of a couple of business ideas, and there's some
Mhm.
things that I want you to take a look at that are hopefully going to improve some of the branding of these tournaments and some of the behavior of some of the kids because that's really what I
Mhm.
feel like
Mhm.
is going to shift the culture at least
Oh yeah.
for part of us, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But what's one thing that you think um maybe that we as officials um, can do to kind of help each other, support each other, um, you know, more of what's something that you would like to see tournament directors do, officials do, and parents do. Just one each of those three things, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Close enough.
One within us, we have to be more open to each other we all play sports as teammates. We have to be teammates as officials too. And we
Yeah,
have to learn that that's necessary for everyone to succeed. For us to change the entire officiating culture is so that the outside people can see that we're unified. But they know
yeah.
they can get to us and break us up, they're gonna break us up. That's
I,
number one. Tournament directors, I would like to see them just not be so greedy or be so selfish. They have to understand the life of an official. And when I ran tournaments, first of all, your tournaments are successful based off your officials. You got good officials, teams will come. They don't want to come to any tournaments that their kid's gonna get hurt or is raggedy or are not ran accordingly professionally.
that's some boo boo. Yeah, they don't want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
So
don't.
that's number one. Shop your officials or your signers. Make sure your quality matches what you want to show for your tournament and pay accordingly.
Yeah.
That's just one expense you're gonna have to suck it up. Your
It,
facility and your officials. That's what you
I,
gotta get.
I so want to just throw this in there. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Uh-huh.
I think there's a short term and a long term look at this, right? I mean, they're just looking at that short term, save the money here, when really if you pay a higher rate, if we do things a little bit differently,
Mm.
your product in the long term will grow, right?
Oh, wow.
It's just gonna expand. I've seen it happen.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just good business, right? It's just good
Mhm.
business. I think that's a good business model. Okay, so the third thing is parents. Parents.
Parents, educate themselves. Coaches are responsible for their parents. People don't understand that's in the rule book. That's in a manual. We can actually throw technical fouls on every team that a parent is acting the fool. That's what's in the book, but we don't do it because we
Right.
don't really want to penalize the kids. for your adult bad behavior.
Right.
You know, that's embarrassing to that child. You know, I've been in tournaments where if a parent gets kicked out, the kid got to go too. That I can never do that. I don't know. I don't know who came up with that. I could never do that. Now if that kid's acting fool like their dad, oh yeah, you go with him. Yeah. You
Right.
know, but if I've had girls tournaments where the girls bawling because their dad's getting escorted out. I said, don't worry, sweetie, you playing. You stay. He's gonna wait on you outside and hear about the score. Okay,
Right.
you be okay. You know, parents got to get educated, but coaches are responsible for doing that. Schools are responsible for doing that. Don't let your if you already know that this parent's like that too, that's on the school or the organization of that team. They got to take care of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Hey, I love it. I've loved this discussion with you.
Yes.
You're one of a kind and so special.
Appreciate you.
I really love you. I've missed you. I'm glad you're back.
I know
Don't don't
we
don't
go
go nowhere else. Don't go nowhere else. Georgia needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thanks for having me. Let me know about what else you got my number now. Call me.
Hey, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. To the black and white table fans and people that are watching, this is how we protect the game. An official at a time, a player at a time. When veterans teach, travel, and we support and stand next to the upcoming generation, we don't just improve the game, we improve the culture. If we want better behavior, safer gyms, and officials who stay, we have to stop treating mentorship like a bonus and start treating it like it's a blueprint.
Mhm.
That's our call at the Black and White Table Talk. Thanks, Yvette. I appreciate you for coming. We're going to talk
Thank
more.
you.
Hey,
Thank you.
look. Hey, I'm telling everybody to watch out. We're going to have a couple businesses coming out real soon. So I'm going to put them up here and you can find the link on the YouTube page. That
Yes.
virtual high
Thank
five to
you.
you. Thank you.
Woo!
See
Thank
you.
you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.